9-iron from 178. Oh my goodness, what a break that is. Hit the rock wall in front.
That happened off of rocks. Literal, imperfect, not flat rocks. That ball could have gone absolutely anywhere. That is why I say winning requires luck. ShotLink has that particular shot registered as a plus 0.47 stroke gained approach shot. Justin Thomas won that golf tournament in a playoff. Picking up a half a shot off some rocks seems relatively material in my opinion. To steal a line from Dr. Rotella, golf is not a game of perfect. In order to win a golf tournament, any golf tournament on the PGA Tour, you need a little bit of luck and a little bit of variance to go your way, and there is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do to force that to happen on any specific week. I don't care if you're Tiger, Mr. Goat Woods, or Alex Noren. You cannot force something to happen on a specific week.
You put yourself in contention before earlier, Torrey Pines. You're going to put yourself right up there once again. What's going to be the key for you now to punch that first PGA Tour victory?
Well, I mean, the key on this course is probably, like hitting greens, hitting fairways. Yesterday I tried, even with the wedges, I came off with a bad start and then tried to push myself into making birdies. I missed a few greens with some wedges, pretty close to the hole, but it's still very tricky with this Bermuda rough. So hitting greens, kind of not forcing anything, trying to make par, maybe a birdie will, get in the way almost, so that's how I played today. Try to hit more middle of the greens. 17, I wasn't even trying to go for that pin. I did a 7-iron way left, on the green, putting up and make my 3 go away, so.
Alex that week shot 66, 75, 65, 67 to miss the playoff by 1. The goal of Decade is to not let you take until you're 35 to figure this stuff out. There is no reason you can't be a young phenom and figure out how to play golf at a younger age and get out there and dominate very quickly. But that's a very hard thing to do with all of the shockingly bad commentating going on out there. I've said it before a million times, I can't imagine how hard it would be to fill 4 hours of dead air with some sort of talk, but stuff like what you're about to hear for sure hinders players more than helps them.
Struggle at the 16th, and he knows what has to happen in order for him to find that final pairing tomorrow, and so he'll be keeping his eye on Justin Rose's card as he walks around the 16th green and possibly as he walks off 17 to know that if he needs a birdie at 18 to get in that final pairing, he will take the necessary risk to do that.
Sorry for the quality of that video there. I was at my mom's house and heard that and realized I have to record this, and I'm not trying to make high quality videos, I'm trying to give you high quality content that, wait for it, will actually help you shoot lower scores. Don't worry, I'm obviously building to how he played number 18 on Sunday, but more importantly, here we are getting advice that he's going to play more aggressively just to get in the final group on Sunday. As I say all the time in my live seminar, I sadly apparently have nothing to do with my time, so I have gone by hand through every single shot Tiger has hit for multiple years on end. This is what it looks like. Here we are on number 16. Tiger hit a tee shot 287, he had 160 the hole, he hit it to the middle of the green 35 feet away. That's not an accident. But more importantly, if you buy into the idea that we have a shotgun and not a sniper's rifle, I technically have no idea where he was aiming this particular shot. He might have been aiming it right at the hole and finished in the long right portion of his distribution. But when you keep on clicking through holes, here we are on number 17 now. Oh, that's weird, 27 feet to the middle of the green. Well, I'm sure on 18 now, like the announcer just said, he's going to force a birdie in order to get into that final group. That's weird. From 168 in the fairway, he hit it 172 yards to 24 feet in the middle of the green. That was only 3 approach shots. Now imagine, sadly imagine, taking the time to go through thousands of his golf shots to see exactly where they wound up going. From there, you can see a very clear pattern emerge. What I would tell you on these 3 holes, unfortunately for Tiger, is he striped his irons exactly where he was trying to. If he had a little bit of positive variance, the ball in those 3 holes might have one time finished slightly left or right of his actual target in order to go close to the hole. That's the way great golf works. You figure out, you learn what works and what doesn't work, which Tiger did on his own, or you can learn Decade, which basically perfectly mirrors his strategy, and then you simply wait out variance, either with a few iron shots finishing on the whole set of your distribution, or a hot putter one week, or any other number of things that can just slightly go your way. You finish off in the trees when the hole happens to be in a perfect window of your shot to the green. There are a number of things in golf that can be attributed to variance, and that's what you are waiting out over the course of a tournament, a season, or more importantly, an entire career.
Tomorrow might free me up a bit being behind. I plan to play aggressive because at this point it's win or go home. So you pull off the shots and you pull out and you make the putts, then I want to give myself a chance for that to be enough. And if I don't, then so be it. Finishing 5th versus 10th doesn't mean much to me, so that frees me up a bit tomorrow.
Well, that interview certainly set the world on fire. Some of the headlines: Jordan Spieth is ready to push all his chips in Sunday at the Masters. Buckle up, everyone. Here comes Jordan Spieth. And Jordan himself: I've been on both sides of it now, and I like the winning side better. So I'm certainly going to go for broke tomorrow. I can't wait to see how low he shot. Well, I will say that I'm impressed that he birdied 3 of the last 4. I'm not impressed that he birdied 3 of the last 4 to shoot 75. And I knew this was going to happen before he even put the tee in the ground on Sunday. You simply cannot go out and force, especially in a major championship, go out and force the low round of the day, which at the end of the day is what he needed to shoot. He needed to shoot, I think it was 67 to win, which was the round of the day. That just happens. There is nothing you do to go out and force it. And his comments after the round on Sunday will definitely let you understand why that's the truth. Oh, and hey, he didn't finish 5th or 10th, he finished 11th. Jordan said that his final round was bizarre. He couldn't understand. He was hitting great shots that were coming up a yard or two short or long. It was all distance control. That is the shotgun. That is why you cannot go out for 18 or 72 straight holes and force great things to happen. You simply have to sit back and let them happen where they do. Here he continues on that Spieth thought distance control was his undoing in the final round. They're just a yard or two off. It's a coin flip. It's going to jump or come out spinny, and I miss those coin flips, 5 for 5. You don't have to win a coin flip. You have to play with proper strategy, and then it doesn't matter about winning a coin flip. That's what patience is. As he continues, because for a while it was, what are we doing? And I wasn't doing much wrong, and that's what was so tough. Now, I'm not saying that he played good enough to shoot 67. I have no idea. That requires making a ton of putts. But he certainly played good enough to shoot 71. But more importantly, if he plays properly, he opens the door for positive variance to go his way and a few longer putts to go in, and then that magical 67 just happens to occur, exactly like it did a few months later in the British Open. He made a few long putts coming down the stretch, and that was the difference. He did not force anything, he let it happen. Now, circling back to Tiger and the Valspar, where everyone says that he should have been more aggressive off the tee, he should have forced a birdie basically to happen on the 72nd hole. Let's look at the reality of those statements. First of all, for all the armchair statisticians at home who said more birdies were made with drives hit over 260 and yada yada, you can't simply take a number like that and assign it as though every drive hit under 260 was hit with a 2-iron, because as you can see right here, from this tee box through this gap, it is only 20 yards wide. I can assure you that is very narrow, but more importantly, I can definitely promise you that Brian Gay is right here somewhere. Where is he? I can't. There he is. Brian Gay, Ryan Moore, Colt Knost. These are some of the shorter hitters in the game. I can assure you that they hit driver. The vast majority of all of these tee shots right here were most likely drivers that hit the trees. And people want to say like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. It's not going to move the numbers much. It will when you take a number from the driver side and assign it to the 2-iron side. I can assure you it's going to make a difference. Then when you combine it with the fact that this fairway is a whopping 19 yards wide between the bunkers, you're just not going to hit that fairway very often. I'm fully aware that you're going to make more birdies with wedges than you are from 7-irons, But the main way that Tiger is going to make birdie on this hole is by gaining close to a full shot with one swing. And his best bet on doing that is gaining that full shot, most likely with a putt, unfortunately. I understand it would be cool to hit driver in the fairway like Patrick Reed did, and then hit a wedge close, but there you're gaining like a third of a shot with every single shot. That's really pretty hard to do, and not typically the way it works. Typically the way it's going to work is a couple decent shots and then one great shot. He gave himself an opportunity for a great shot with a 7-iron, and then if that didn't pan out, he gave himself an opportunity for a great shot with a putt. Again, unfortunately, that's variance. He made a bomb on 17. You just don't make many long putts. You also don't hit the fairway very often that's 19 yards wide, and then hit a wedge close, and then make the putt. As I stated on Twitter that day, when Tiger won Bay Hill in 2013 by 2, he was plus over 11 strokes gained putting. Last week at Innisbrook, he was under 1 stroke gained putting. If he'd putted at Innisbrook the way he did at Bay Hill, he would have won by 10, literally by 10. That's what variance is. Tiger waits it out, and everyone else doesn't understand why he doesn't force it. That's why he's the greatest player of all time, and that's why you are not. With all due respect, and nothing but love. Now, just to be clear, I do think that mathematically he probably should hit a 3-wood. He can hit it up to almost 300 yards and still leave it short of the right bunker. What I told my players was this box right here was 59 yards wide at 280. I like leaving it short of the right bunkers. That said, it's not that big of a difference. It really isn't. I mean, it's probably 5 or 6 hundredths of a stroke tops. It's not like it's a half a stroke or anything silly. But this is the beauty of the driving decision tree. Everyone's up in arms about what he should or shouldn't have been doing. This is all based in a lot of expectation math. Start. Are there 65 yards between penalty stroke hazards? On that particular hole, yes there are, obviously. Does the fairway pinch to less than 40 yards where your driver will either land or be rolling? Yes it does here, it pinches to 20 yards. Can you carry a hazard on one side with driver and not get in trouble? Yes, well then it's driver. So if he could carry driver 315 uphill, it's probably a driver because he could carry the left bunkers. That's not the case here. Will 3-wood also get into the pinching hazard? No, 3-wood is likely correct. I do not think he could get 3-wood into that bunker. The flip side of that is if he could get 3-wood to the bunker, it's unlikely you should drop back to a 2-iron or hybrid unless the hole is short and you'll be left with a wedge or less. As a result, you should probably hit driver since 3-wood doesn't remove the trouble either. If he could get 3-wood to the bunker, I actually then would say he should hit driver. That's not the case here, so he should probably be hitting 3-wood, and I'm making the assumption that he could not get 3-wood to the hole. To the bunker. Here's a hole that everyone is up in arms about what he should or shouldn't have been doing, and the driving decision tree literally perfectly tells you what club he likely should have hit. Now, that being said, I have no problem with Tiger Woods hitting a 2-iron off the tee, hitting a 7-iron onto the green, and getting himself a bunch of looks that are somewhere between 8 and probably 45 feet, and just waiting out variance. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So to circle back one last time, this is every single tee shot hit last week on number 18 at Innisbrook. And where it looks like, man, a lot of people hit the fairway, very few put it in these bunkers. These bunkers are almost inaccessible because of the trees on the right. So all of these shots right here were likely drivers headed towards these bunkers. You can see these ones are flooded. There's guys over here way to the left. There's a guy back here, Chris Kirk, you can't even see off in the trees. That's the reason that this looks like so many guys hit the fairway, is because it's basically impossible to put it in these bunkers because all of these drivers were heading there. I really hope this makes sense. I'm trying to get this thing out the door before I head to Houston, but I'm telling you, this is the way proper golf works. Tiger Woods is the GOAT for a reason, and this is the main reason, in my opinion, why that's the case. If you made it this far, congratulations. You're one of the few that actually cares, and I do believe that one of the main things in actually becoming as great as you can is simply caring and doing your work. Success is not a secret. Show up and do your work. You made it 14 or 15 minutes into this video. You did it. Congratulations. Not to upsell you, but I would tell you the next step is getting the Decade app, because I have 10 plus hours of content exactly like this, where I teach you exactly how the best players in the world play the game. not in some it's a giant secret how the best players in the world play the game, or let's listen to what they feel. This is not about feel, this is about cold hard facts. Here's what they do, and here's how they do it. Get the Decade app as soon as you can, or come on out to a Decade seminar if I come to your area. Hit me up with questions, I'm here to help.